Hi gamers, and welcome to checking out what games I have for the 3DS. Unlike most videos I've done recently where I show my games for a specific platform, this isn't a revisitation video because I haven't shown you my 3DS games yet, thanks to it being a relatively new system. But I got here 44 games, which isn't too crazy, I think, but still a decent selection of really great games, which the 3DS truly has. Now, I know what you're gonna say when I show you these games. You're gonna say that most of these games are still sealed, and while it is true that I haven't played all of these games, some are here simply for collecting purposes or to be played at a later date. I have played more games than would seem, because for some reason I've got quite a few games as a digital download, but I still like to have the physical game for collecting purposes. But I have played more games than these sealed games here would indicate. But let's check out what I have here. Starting with probably my most played game on the 3DS. Well, not probably, easily my most played game, Animal Crossing. New Leaf. And there have been several Animal Crossing games, once per platform. Nintendo has been making these. Hopefully the Wii U will get its own game as well soon. But yeah, of course, Animal Crossing games are really at home on an handheld system. Yeah, really pick up and play. Do your chores, have some fun, and then put the game away again. But when you do it every single day for months, it really does add up. I've had really great time with Animal Crossing New Leaf. Really fond memories. Bravely Default, a bit of a cult classic in the RPG genre from Square Enix. Castlevania, Lords of Shadow, Mirror of Fate. And this was a bit of a... It is an okay action game, but of course when you do a 2D or a semi-2D Castlevania, you would expect to have some Metroidvania aspects, and yeah, a true Metroidvania game still eludes us. Hopefully it will return someday. Dead or Alive Dimensions, a decent fighting game, 3D fighting game on handheld. Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D. Of course, one of the best games on the Wii, and a nice little remaster on the 3DS with some added content as a bonus here as well. Great game. Fantasy Life. Actually, this is one of the games I haven't played, so can't really talk too much about that. And then we have Kid Icarus Uprising. Almost 2 decades on the making, but Kid Icarus returned at last. And this is the apparently these days quite elusive big boxed version, which includes the stand and all. And a fantastic action game. It's a bit different than people might have expected. Not an adventure game. Stuff like that, but this is mostly an on-rails shooter, an action game, really great graphics and great use of the 3D effect, and a surprisingly decent multiplayer as well. Yeah, this is a great game on the 3DS. Then we have Kirby Triple Deluxe, some classic Kirby platforming with a 4-player mode, also loaned from the Wii Kirby. And then one of the best games ever, if not the best game ever, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Here we have the 3D remake of it. And yeah, it's still the same great game, but just with polished up graphics and some other improvements here and there. And of course, it's a fantastic game, and I think it's great that Nintendo it's not a straight up port. Nintendo really did work on this a lot, but it's for me it's always important that new generations get to experience the wonder of Ocarina of Time as well. And well, the same can be said for Majora's Mask as well. Here I have the special edition of Majora's Mask 3D. I talked about Majora's Mask in my previous recent collecting video, so not gonna go that much deeper in this video, but well, what can be said about Ocarina of Time can be said about Majora's Mask as well. One of the weirder Zeldas. The setting and mood, music, everything it's really weird and odd in a good way, and just love Majora's Mask as well. So really fantastic games here. And well, this isn't a game, this is a little pre-order box that you got with Ocarina of Time if you pre-ordered it. I didn't get this here in Finland. I got a really nice donation for this. And then the third Zelda game on the 3DS, and this time it's a 2D Zelda game. It's been a while since we had one of those, and I was really enjoying this. I think they not just Nintendo, but pretty much every developer should embrace more the fact that you can return to the same game world that you have made a game previously in, and it's just really a treat because A Link to the Past is one of my favorite 2D Zelda, and it's just a treat to go back to that world. This is a totally new game, don't get it mixed up that Nintendo has cut corners or anything. The dungeons are different, and most of the overworld is different in its little details, but you can still recognize it as the same game world, and it's just a great idea and a fantastic game as well. Lego City Undercover, The Chase Begins, not nearly as good as the actually really quite good Wii U Big Brother. This is a different game altogether, but just the 3DS isn't technically quite capable enough to handle open world games. Then we have Luigi's Mansion 2. A nice sequel to the GameCube original, and it's really nice to have Luigi back in Luigi's Mansion. I really liked the first game and like the second game as well. It's not quite as good in my opinion as the GameCube original. I don't know, mainly it's because you skip between mansions, and the second game here just seems, it's not as coherent as the first game. I like the spirit of adventure that you had in the first game especially. Mario Golf World Tour. All the Mario sports games are quality games for sure, as is of course Mario Kart 7, and which did a lot for the series, had nice improvements, not just cosmetic, but and a really working online mode as well. But you gotta have one Mario Kart per Nintendo platform. It's a rule. No more, no less. Mario Party Island Tour, not one of the better Mario parties. Mario and Luigi Dream Team Brothers. Of course, every Mario and Luigi game are fantastic, really great, light RPG action, and especially the humor and the dialogue and the script is really great, and this game is no exception. And just really nice, quirky ideas, and it's great that Nintendo has doesn't take all of its series and beloved characters, too seriously, or put put them to do the same things over and over again, and the Mario and Luigi series is a great example of that. Another sports game, Mario Tennis Open. Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Of course, this was Monster Hunter 3, or Tri, was originally on the Wii, but thanks to the added power of the 3DS, Capcom wanted to bring it over to the handhelds, and it has stayed on the handhelds so far with 4 and 4 Ultimate. Also came out on the 3DS, so one of the biggest games in Japan, so not to be underestimated, even though I do prefer the Wii original to this. New Super Mario Bros. 2. This got a bit of unfair treatment in my opinion. Well, it was they did release two 2D Mario platformers in a really short time. That much is true, but you know, they were on different platforms. So this is the only 2D Mario on the 3DS, and as such, it's not too much in my opinion. Of course, they could have, I guess, toned down the coin collecting a bit. The golden or yellow case here also says tells that how greedy Mario and Luigi are in this game, but it's still a quality title, and I can't get enough of 2D Mario games. Fantastic stuff. Nintendogs plus Cats. I'm a huge cat lover, not so much a dog person. I did play quite a bit of the original Nintendogs on the first DS. This Nintendogs plus Cats didn't really have the same effect for me. It had lost some of its novelty, but I did play this quite a bit and played with my cat. Paper Mario Sticker Star. Kind of the same thing applies here than with the Mario and Luigi games. Great light RPG and fantastic story, dialogue, doesn't take itself too seriously. But that being said, Paper Mario Sticker Star is probably the worst game in the Paper Mario series. But still not a bad game by any stretch, but still it could have been a bit more involved, a bit harder, I guess. Pilotwings Resort, one of the launch games for the 3DS, and I'm a big Pilotwings fan. I really love Pilotwings 64. And this one takes a bit of a more laid-back attitude to the flying. Well, not that Pilotwings 64 was a serious simulation or anything, but I kind of like the zen or more ascetic qualities, whereas here you have all the bells and whistles and lots of color and all that. But it's still great fun, and you know, you can't really, there aren't really too many flying simulators. Mostly the games where you fly involve shooting as well, but this is a great game if you really enjoy flying. And then, again, sadly, games that I haven't played, Pokemon Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. Also have here Pokemon Y. Maybe someday I'll get to playing Pokemon games, but still hasn't happened for me. But again, great collectibles, and I do appreciate how important games they are. And then, I've said it before, and I'll say it again, I'm a big Professor Layton fan. Here I have the two Professor Laytons for the 3DS, Miracle Mask and the Azran Legacy. But you know, these being numbers 5 and 6 in the series, it's of course a given that the series has lost some of its power and appeal, but still these are some of the finest puzzle games ever made. It's, I guess, the puzzles themselves haven't lost any of their potency, for me at least, but I guess it's kind of the story. I know there are plenty of people who play these games mainly for the story, but for me the story is always something a bit silly, and you have to skip the dialogues there, and when the puzzles most of the puzzles don't even have anything to do with the situation at hand in the series, the story. So it's a bit of a chore for me. For me, these stories aren't anything too special, a bit predictable or wildly unpredictable. So I'm not really too pleased with it either way. But still, fantastic games, and I've played every single puzzle in every single Professor Layton game. Resident Evil, the Mercenaries 3D. Basically not a full-on Resident Evil adventure, more like a mission-based action game, and works a treat. I played this a lot, and I really like it. Whereas Resident Evil Revelations, it truly was one of the more Resident Evil-y games in a long time. Basically, the most Resident Evil game has been since Code Veronica. So this was a really nice game to have, and also was ported to bigger consoles as well. I have to admit that I did play this on the Wii U, not on the 3DS, because, well, it wasn't optimal to be played on a handheld, I guess, but still a really nice addition to the 3DS library. Sonic Generations, I don't really have too much to say about that. And then, almost forgot here, I got one Skylanders game, Skylanders Giants. This is a booster pack which doesn't include the portal. And then another Nintendo 64 remake, Star Fox 64 3D. Star Fox 64 was one of my favorite games on the Nintendo 64. Really great action and cinematic experience. All the talking characters, and it was a really nice experience. It's not that impressive these days, again, even though the graphics have been upgraded a bit. But this is a bit of a short and sweet game. I couldn't really recommend paying full price for this, but if you see it on sale, definitely pick it up if you haven't played it. Steel Diver, one of the few new IPs that Nintendo has made for the 3DS. It's a submarine action game, not that exciting, but still nice to have a new IP, I guess. Then probably my favorite game on the 3DS. Well, it's a tough call between this and Animal Crossing New Leaf, Super Mario 3D Land. This is, well, of course, as a 3D Mario game, or a Mario game in general, it is a quality game, and I just love it. But especially I gotta mention here that this has some of the best use of the 3D effect on any 3DS games. There are actually some really great platforming stages that have a really nice depth perception here. You go into fall down or go into the screen, and it just gives a nice it's just something that hasn't been really done in 3D platforming games, that sort of verticality. So that's one of the nicer features of 3D Land. Then we have Super Monkey Ball 3D. I was a big Monkey Ball fan on the GameCube, and while this isn't one of the worst games in the series. The series has gone a bit downhill from the GameCube days, which is a bit of a shame. I'd really like them to go back to basics. Just a full-on, really hardcore puzzle platforming game, whatever you want to call Monkey Ball as a concept, and just go all out with the difficulty setting. That would be a really nice Monkey Ball game to have. Then Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS. And like I said, when I got this, I have to admit that I kinda saved myself from this. I didn't really play this on the 3DS. I played it, I'd still played on the Wii U. And just kinda more at home with the controls on a home console, but still a fantastic game to have for the 3DS. As is Super Street Fighter 4 3D Edition. A bit of a surprise when this was announced, because Street Fighter 4 being such a graphical powerhouse, and it does look good on the 3DS as well. Excellent fighting. As is this Tekken 3D Prime Edition. Then we have Tetris. No platform is complete without Tetris, and certainly no handheld console is complete without Tetris. Even though, they always try to improve upon Tetris, you can't improve upon Tetris. It's the first iteration is a mathematically perfect game, so when you do anything with it, it gets worse, but that's beside the point. Tomodachi Life, fun little Sims, take on the Sims genre from Nintendo. Well, if you don't count Animal Crossing, I guess that's one take as well. Then we have Ultimate NES Remix. I have played this both NES Remix games on the Wii U as a downloadable game already, so I haven't had the need to play this. But if you don't have a Wii U, this is definitely one to check out. And one final game, we got here Yoshi's New Island. The Super Nintendo Yoshi is Yoshi's Island is of course one of the greatest classics on the Super Nintendo, but here we kind of have the same pattern happen here. The new game isn't quite as good. It's a bit easier, well, a lot easier, I guess, but still it's nice to have a 2D platformer these days on any console. I can't fault anybody for doing that. And that was my Nintendo 3DS collection. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.